and welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we are making potatoes with a creamy dill sauce. Phil is a big fan of potatoes, as the men folk often are, so it's nice to make them every so often for them. Potatoes in the past have gotten a bit of bad press because of their glycemic index, but people are starting to come around on them because they have such a huge amount of nutrition in them, especially if you leave the skins on them. So I always leave skins on my potatoes, and what I've done here is I have these potatoes all ready to go. I have boiled them slightly in water, so they're starting to get soft, but they're not fully cooked. I'm going to put them in the oven to bake with a dill sauce and some zucchini to lighten the dish up a little bit. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is pick out some of the softest potatoes and put them in a bowl, because what I'm going to do is actually use potato as the base for my sauce. That way I avoid too much fat in making a creamy sauce, and it also makes sure that there aren't too many different types of foods in my dish. But you can just as easily use some kind of coconut milk or other type of milk. Okay, so that's about enough. And then what I will do is start the sauce first. So I'm going to mash these potatoes up. And potatoes nutritionally, well, botanically, they're part of the nightshade family, which is known for being a bit toxic. So I don't peel my potatoes, but I'm always sure to cut out any sprouts that are starting on the potato, because that's where toxins come from. The nightshades expand your body's energy, so they actually make it hard to mentally focus. However, in North American culture, where we are so focused on accomplishment and mental concentration, they're actually kind of beneficial because it helps your mind relax a little bit, and that's perhaps why North Americans eat so many potatoes or love them so much. Okay, the effects of potatoes as well are neutralized when you bake them for a long period of time when they are heated up. So that will be very nice for our dish tonight. Okay, so this potato has been mashed thoroughly, and what I'm going to do is add some water to make it more of a sauce-like texture. And you can definitely do this in a blender as well. I'm not too concerned about making it perfectly creamy, and I'm not too concerned about these chunks of skin that are in here. But if you are, feel free to use the blender. It just makes more dishes. So here's the consistency you're looking for in this sauce. You don't want it to be too watery, but I've made it nice and liquid so that it'll coat around all of the potatoes and the zucchini. And like I said, mine's not very smooth because I'm just using a fork, but if you want to, you can use a blender or a hand blender. So I'm going to make this a dill sauce. I've got some lovely fresh dill from the store. You want to make sure when you get your dill that you wash it and let it dry before you use it, otherwise it won't cut up very nicely. What I'm going to do is cut off the very ends of these stems, only because they've gotten dried out from being in the store. If I was picking this fresh, I wouldn't bother, and I don't bother getting rid of all of the stem because I figure there's nutrients in there, you might as well eat it, right? So I'll get that chopped up and put it into my potato sauce here. So I've added a lot of dill in here. I found some fresh dill at the market and I was pretty excited, so I've got a little dill happy on this one. So it's actually made my sauce too thick. So all I'm going to do is add a bit more water and make sure it's still creamy. There we go. Next thing, I'm going to add some salt and some seasoning here, and then we'll get it put onto our potatoes. Okay, so I put some salt in here as well as some black pepper and a little nutritional yeast never hurt anybody, so it's always nice in a cream sauce. If you give this a little taste test, it should taste a little bit salty because it's going on to the vegetables which don't have any salt on them. This sauce needs to taste a little bit salty before it goes on there. Okay, I've got the zucchini in with the potatoes. I'm just gonna pour the sauce on top there. Give it a quick stir to mix everything around. All right, I've got my potatoes and zucchini all covered in sauce. They look pretty yummy. I'm gonna pop it into the oven, somewhere around 350, although it's not too crucial. You can preheat your oven or you can just pop it in and let it warm up. I'm lucky enough to have a toaster oven that fits my baking dish, so I can save a bit of energy that way, but using the oven, fine as well. So those will be in, depending on how large you cut them. You're looking for the zucchini to get soft here. Remember, the potatoes have already been somewhat boiled, so they're already a bit soft on the outside, but the zucchini has had no cooking at all yet. So it should take somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes, and you'll have a lovely dinner ready for you. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention about potatoes is that they are historically used for inflammation. So if you're someone that suffers from arthritis, this might be a good thing to have, and any kind of inflammation they help with as well. So we'll give those potatoes a little bit to cook and the zucchini, and then we'll take a peek in about 20 minutes. So I've pulled this out after about 20 minutes. It's looking really nice. There's some juice collecting at the bottom of the pan from the zucchini, which are starting to soften, but they're not quite cooked. I cut them quite large. Take a look. That's a pretty big chunk of zucchini. So I'm just gonna stir this around and make sure that they are all moist, because otherwise, if they dry out and don't have any moisture while they bake, they're not gonna bake through. They'll just get kind of dry on the outside and they won't fully cook. So I'll just stir this all around with the liquid, pop it back in, probably for about another 10 minutes, and then we should be ready to eat. All right, this has been in for about 30 minutes on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it looks like it is pretty perfectly done. You can see this zucchini here, how soft that is. See how it folds right up onto itself? And I can see the inside, very soft. That is excellent. That's what I've been waiting to see. And now that it's there, I think it is just ready to eat. So enjoy your dinner, and we'll see you next time on Freshly Served. It's hot, be careful. Oh yeah. Doesn't taste salty anymore either.